Diane, your host of Epic Conversations. Have you ever struggled with your identity or a sense of belonging? Well, our special guest, Alan Hunter, he is going to tell us how following God's plan for his life actually fulfilled his heart's desires and positively influenced the lives of others. So let me tell you a little bit about Alan. He is passionate about educating young people in their identity and purpose. He currently works for a pro-life ministry called Life Network, and he holds a master's degree in youth, family, and culture. And so this is going to be good. We appreciate you, and you're the reason why we do these videos. So thank you for joining us. Let's meet Alan. Alan, thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, Diane. I'm privileged to be here.
We're honored to have you. You have quite a story, and the ministry you work for is just awesome. So tell us your story.
I, of course, am excited, and I have so many things to share. But yes, we even got to talk before this, and as I've gotten to know you and things, it's just been super exciting to share that the way God has woven my life into this ministry and put it together in a way that I never could have imagined. I was born in a small town in Colorado, and growing up was taken to church by my mom and her parents, my grandparents, my entire life. My dad wasn't really involved in that part of my life. And I was in a healthy church. I had great role models. I had great Sunday school teachers and just a healthy church. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was growing in my faith. But as is common, when I started reaching adolescence and my middle school years, I was really struggling for that identity, that belonging and purpose. Yeah. We had some life changes with our family. I was dealing with things, and kind of the short answer is I started hanging out with some people that were not making those healthy choices. Through that, I could go on, but there were times where I look back and God was really protecting me from making some of the most unhealthy decisions, and I didn't know why. I wouldn't do certain things, but it was because God was just saying, stay away from that. And so through that, I recognized I was really looking for something more. And when I entered high school, I was invited to go to a weekend camp with this parachurch ministry, this parachurch youth group that I was a part of. I went because it was going to be fun. There was a lot of girls, and it was just basically everything that a young guy is looking for. But at the camp, this speaker starts talking about, have you ever made a commitment to Jesus? And if you have, and you're not walking with Jesus, would you like to recommit your life to Christ? And basically, he woke something up in me that said, yes, I do want to recommit my life to Christ, and I want to say yes to Jesus. And, the skeptical side, people could say, well, it was because of the all-you-can-eat tacos and the perfect worship music and the girls, whatever. But no, in that moment, I truly was like, yes, I want to follow you, Jesus. The last night of the camp, as the speaker is talking about, now you've said yes to Jesus, will you go wherever he sends you? And I'm like, yes. And I imagine all these exotic locations, and I'm ready to say yes to Jesus. And I said in this prayer, as I was called forward, yes, I'll go anywhere you want, but please don't send me anywhere cold. I hate the cold. And so the irony is that he changed my heart, and I ended up going to the coldest spot in the country for 20 years, which happens to be here in Colorado. But and I grew to love it. That is where I was pursuing my education. I was getting ministry opportunities. I helped start a parachurch ministry working with youth, and I grew and I've had that privilege to work with youth and family ministries in some sort my entire life. And that's what brings me here. And at the Ministry of Life Network, I get to talk to teenagers and parents more than ever before. And so that's kind of the brief overview of it. But I was drawn here to the Colorado Springs area 15 years ago to finish seminary and join in some of the amazing things that God is doing in our community.
And you mentioned when you were in seminary that you actually experienced the presence of God.
Yeah. Yeah. All kinds of people have different stories, but every class I took, and some of them, they're electives, and it's about every topic under the sun, every single one grabbed my heart for Jesus in a different way. I was a young youth pastor when I started seminary. It took me forever, so I wasn't a young youth pastor by the end. But when I started, I was like, why do I need to know foreign languages or this or that? Every single thing I learned drew me to Jesus and gave me even more wisdom or better foundation for ministering to youth and their families and having a broader worldview. I couldn't get enough of it.
And I would say, Alan, you had a willing heart.
Yeah.
You didn't just go to the seminary and learn Greek and Hebrew and all these things. You wanted to know God.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that quest opened up His presence for you to see Him in everything.
Absolutely. It was amazing.
I was just like, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, that was a huge blessing.
Awesome. Well, go ahead.
Well, so I mentioned that God wove it together, all of these different ministries that I got to be a part of. And when I look back over my timeline of ministry, I've worked at small churches, parachurch ministries, a mega church, doing youth family ministry, even children's ministry. But also I've worked with adjudicated boys in the prison system. I even had a short stint leading a truck driving school, which sounds so far out of ministry, but God drew me in because these are young guys looking for a new career, and it all comes down to what am I going to do with my future? What's my purpose, right? Mm-hmm. So all of these things that I talk about, identity, belonging, and purpose, they're weaved into everything we do. And so God made that apparent in everything that I do. So now, with Life Network, I get to do that on a regular basis, and God's doing amazing things. And so kind of to break that down, how that works, we do three things: prevention, intervention, and transformation. I'm always proud to talk about our ministry because we use actual client pictures, and so we're not just pulling stock images. These are real people that the Lord has changed and intervened in their life.
Yeah, let's hear some stories.
Yeah, so as we talk about it, we talk about prevention. That's the first thing. So prevention, intervention, and transformation. The prevention piece, we get to talk to teenagers. We're privileged to partner with local public high schools and teachers that are already investing in young people's lives and support them and add to the value of what they're doing. And we talk about belonging, purpose, healthy choices. You have value. And because you have value, you can make valuable decisions. We also talk about mental health. We talk about suicide prevention. We talk about what do you want for your future. And if you've made an unhealthy choice, you can make a healthy choice. And so it's super powerful. This last year, we spoke in 39 local schools for about 6 days in most of those schools to 7,800 teenagers.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that is what drew me in. And this is a story from just 1 week ago. I wasn't scheduled to be in a class. I have a whole team that goes in. But as people get sick or you need a sub, I had to step into a class. As I was stepping into the class, went in, taught the normal program that we normally do, and it's a really long class. It's a 100-minute class, so we take a break in the middle. During the break, a girl came into class and she was late for class. And as she walks in, she sees this slide that I had up, which was talking about local resources. And she goes, "What did I just walk into?" And I introduced myself. "Hi, I'm Mr. Allen. I'm teaching from Education for a Lifetime." And she goes, "This is timely." And I'm like, "Okay, tell me more." She said, "My sister just found out last night that she's pregnant, and we didn't know what we were going to do." And so I shared with her, here's what you can share with your sister. Here's where she can go for resources, for help, some support. Of course, we talk about El Paso County Public Health. We talk about local clinics. We talk about the Colorado Springs Pregnancy Center. All of these resources. It was just an amazing time. I never could have imagined that was going to happen this day that I'm stepping into a class to be a substitute.
That's God ordained.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a divine appointment.
Yeah, I was so privileged to be there.
What an answer for her and her whole family.
Right, and we don't know what the story is yet.
Yeah.
But in that moment, She wants to be there for her family, for her sister, and doesn't know. And now she has something that she can take home that can encourage her sister in this tough time. And we don't know what God is going to do with that situation. And so that's that trusting part. But the area that we're known for the most is the intervention piece, which is across our 4 Colorado Springs pregnancy centers.
Okay.
So I want you to imagine a world where every single woman who is facing a pregnancy unplanned, she can feel supported, she can feel encouraged, she can feel equipped. Because no matter what, when you are going to become a parent, there is a lot going on. And so the more negative instabilities that she has, the more she's feeling these things. And the Colorado Springs Pregnancy Center and the volunteers and staff there get to come alongside young women and men in these moments to help lift them up, to help embrace them. So we know this support isn't the reality for everyone. But that's what we want to do. So this last year, we saw more than 3,200 clients. We do pregnancy testing, STI testing, ultrasounds. We offer all kinds of things. And I want to key in on the ultrasound because, of course, we do pregnancy tests to confirm that it's a medical grade pregnancy test, not something you buy off the shelf at the dollar store, because we have licensed medical professionals doing this. But we want to give them a medical grade pregnancy test so they can start receiving care and receiving services. We also offer early pregnancy care with our nurse practitioners while they're waiting, so they can make healthy decisions and grow this baby inside them. But then we want them to be free of STIs, and so we do STI testing and treatment.
What's a STI?
Sexually transmitted infection, which could turn into a disease, and so we want to catch that early. So, but then more than that, we are starting to show them the handiwork of the Lord. We do ultrasounds. So this last year we did more than 1,400 life-saving ultrasounds. And the reason that is important, and we do this throughout all 4 of our clinics, when a woman sees her baby in an ultrasound, 86% of the time, if she was going to choose something different, it'll change her heart and she'll choose to parent.
She'll see it alive.
She'll see
on
it.
the screen.
And yes, this can be very sobering. This can be a scary time. And they are having all kinds of emotions. And so we don't add to that emotion. We want to let them know scientifically, here's what's going on. We want to make sure that your baby is safe, it's viable, is it growing in the right place, all of these things. And so through that last year, through those more than 1,400 life-saving ultrasounds, we know of 574 babies that were saved. Their mom was planning something different and it changed her heart and mind. And so to put that in a picture, that's like 25 kindergarten classrooms, right? So in just a few years, we're going to need more kindergarten classrooms. So when we start talking about schools being overcrowded and we start talking about needing more tax dollars for teachers or whatever it is, instead of getting sad about it, say, yeah, we did that. Look at this. We're raising a whole new generation that wouldn't have been here. And so it's super exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I could go on and on. A story of a recent client. It's some of these stories are just hard. And it's not that everybody's life is even, easy or manageable or anything. A recent client, Sarah, she came in. And when she came in for a pregnancy appointment, she was having a tough time, and her client advocate, this first person she sits down with, is talking with her and saying, hey, tell me what's going on. Sarah described to her client advocate that she just got a voicemail from her partner, and the voicemail said, you're just using me for my money, and I don't agree with this pregnancy, something like this. If you go through with this pregnancy, you better pay for your own phone, find your own car, and find another place to live. Don't bother coming back here. This is what she's dealing with, this voicemail, while she's learning that she's pregnant. There's no easy answers, but her client advocate came around her and said, we want to support you in this situation. How can we help you? As they talked with her, Sarah decided she wanted to parent. Over time, we were able to help her find a place to live, find some other stability and things like that. Just a few months ago, Sarah had a beautiful baby girl. And she went from this moment of feeling trapped with no choices and no hope to feeling like she can be a parent. And now, this year, she's going to celebrate her first Mother's Day, right? Can you imagine this beauty that we have that we get to celebrate?
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are the types of stories that we get to share and be a part of every day. And so it's this ministry to people with real challenges that still need to know that Jesus loves them and have support. So we never just talk about the baby. We never talk about just that issue, because then we want to go in and talk about true transformation. So we start offering motherhood and fatherhood mentoring. So we have a motherhood and fatherhood program where they can get one-on-one coaching with a seasoned parenthood coach, a dad or a mom, and they get to meet with them one-on-one until the child turns 2. Couldn't all of us use a little bit more encouragement and guidance?
Yes.
And there's so many stories, but one guy, he came in and he said, I want to be a dad, and he was there with his partner just trying to be supportive. And that's often what dads say. Dads want to be supportive of their partner. And we say, well, yeah, but you have a part to play here. Would you, if you had the choice, would you want to be a dad? And this guy described, he goes, I can't be a dad. My dad was horrible. I don't think I could do it. He described all the reasons he couldn't be a dad. His fatherhood coach said, well, if somebody like me walked alongside you, do you think you could do it? He goes, well, maybe. They talked about all the things he'd been able to accomplish in his life, despite his background, despite negative role models. And the guy said, yeah, I think maybe I could do it. They had a conversation with the mom. They decided to parent. This dad joined the fatherhood program, and he started getting this mentoring and started to see how he could become a dad. Later on, he's been meeting with his fatherhood coach for a long time, and he came in a little bit stressed, and his coach could see him that he was thinking about something else. And we have a curriculum and stuff, but it doesn't have to be followed, by the book, so to speak. And so his fatherhood coach said, tell me what's going on in your heart and your mind. And he said, well, I'm just really struggling because I'm stressed. I have this opportunity for a promotion, but I need to study for this exam on this test to get the promotion, and it has a lot of math, and I'm not very good at math. And the fatherhood coach said, well, why don't we study together? Let's use this time to study math, because I'd love to see you get that promotion. We want to help you. So they studied math, and it was 2 weeks later that the coach got to see him again. And he said, tell me how that math test went. He goes, I'm so excited. I passed the test. I got the promotion. Why? That was amazing. Why are you so good at math? The student asked his coach, and the coach, kind of in a shy way, said, well, I tend to be pretty good at math. I used to be a NASA engineer. He had retired from that and felt this calling to do this ministry. That's the type of people who say, I now get to pour into young men or young women. And so we get to do that. And this last year we had more than 3,000 motherhood and fatherhood appointments. They're getting encouraged. And then on top of that, they get material resources. We give them car seats, cribs, strollers, diapers, formula. They earn what we call baby bucks while they're going through their motherhood and fatherhood program that they get to spend in our baby boutique to buy all of those items. They can feel proud of what they're doing for their family. Then we offer mental health counseling on site for many who need it. And then we never miss the opportunity, whether it's a pregnancy test, an STI test, or a motherhood program. If we can sense they're open, and by invitation we ask, can we talk to them? We get to talk to them about Jesus, because the ultimate transformation comes from knowing Jesus.
That's right.
And this last year, 79 people prayed to receive Christ when they were in an appointment like that. That we know
Praise
of.
God.
It could be more. And so we never want to leave them the way they are. The next piece that we get to talk about is after abortion care. Our program is called Bridges of Hope. 1 in 4 women in America will be affected by abortion. There's statistics that at least 25% of women who sought out an abortion were in a church the previous 30 days. So it is affecting families and couples and young women sitting right next to us in church. And we know there is nothing that Jesus didn't die on the cross for.
That's
and
right.
So we say, you need to understand that Jesus died on the cross, even for that.
Yes.
And so we talk about Bridges of Hope. How can you truly see and experience the grace and the forgiveness of Jesus? When these young women and men go through our Bridges of Hope or after abortion care, this burden is lifted, this guilt is lifted. They're suddenly fired up. You know, we say they're fired up for their faith. They're really activated disciples in the name of Jesus. And that's what we want. So we talk about everything from the beginning all the way to the end. Prevention, intervention, and transformation.
And the transformation. And
so much is happening.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned behind the scenes when we were talking earlier about the teachers and the influence that they have for the young people.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about that?
If you were to go out there and you were to ask any adult, who is another adult, a caring adult that had an impact on your life, they are almost always going to say a teacher, right? We're all going to say teachers. Mm-hmm. Teachers have a profound impact on everybody's life. It's an institution, whether you're a believer or not. We know these teachers show up day after day. They have their own families. They have their own challenges. And so we get to come alongside them and support them. We get to echo what they're already teaching in the classroom. We talk about what is medically accurate and true. We get to share how they are caring adults, that if you're a young person and you have a challenge, one of the people you could go to is your teacher, who's right here. We also get to encourage them. Many times, you know, they might be having a life challenge, and we're there as a guest speaker, and we're not there just to deliver content and leave. We're there to encourage them, say thank you so much for showing up every day, for being a teacher. This is not always an easy job. So we partner with them, we encourage them, we give them a little bit of a break while we teach for a week, and they're excited, and they often get involved because we have trained speakers going in to talk about these tough subjects.
Yeah, I've got some of these subjects are pretty tough to talk about.
Yeah, but it turns out it's medically accurate and true, and so we do need to talk about it. And these teenagers, they're capable. They're capable of having these hard conversations, but also there's plenty of evidence that teenagers today are making healthier choices than generations before. That is part of the hope too.
That's good.
I like to say, God didn't just throw his hands up when the internet was invented and go, I knew what to do with teenagers until then, or I knew what to do with teenagers until 2020. He is like, no, I still love them like crazy. And he wants their hearts and their minds, and he wants to use them to change the world. And we see that every day. He
does. That is amazing. I just hear the heart, all of these volunteers when you're talking. It's not just a program. It's the love of God flowing through people to help others.
It is. We do it all. We have a lot of staff and medical professionals and all these things, but we do most of it with volunteers, where people think, I do this as a job, or now I'm retired, whatever it is, I could never do that. We say, well, no, with some training, you could sit with somebody facing one of the toughest decisions of their life, and just by being present with them, you get to reflect the love of Jesus and walk alongside them. It's just amazing.
That is a powerful ministry. And before we end, how did you get involved with this?
When I was doing some other ministry, just a couple of people that I knew that we were having dinner with told me about an opportunity. And I'd been aware, and I'd been involved in pro-life ministries in different capacities. But I had a general knowledge and a little bit of an idea, but God was opening my heart and then opening my mind, because I learned about it. I took a tour, and it just kept coming up over and over and over again. The impact that youth leaders and working with youth leaders and this program that we do in the schools has on young people, and all the young people that are coming into our clinics. I really don't think there is one single ministry in our area that's impacting so many young people.
I know, you have so many different areas.
Yeah.
Like you said, say now, and with that, say now one more time. You get it from the beginning.
Yeah.
What was the stages?
So prevention, intervention,
and
transformation.
And transformation.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's the normal thing with anything. There's more than that going on, but there's so much going on that sometimes I don't even know that's all that's happening across 4 clinics, right?
Yeah.
But every day, God is doing amazing things and showing up, and we just get to be a part, and we just get to go, thank you, Lord.
You are changing lives and transforming the lives of people.
Yes.
This is incredible. Because when I had said that, God not only fulfilled your heart's desires, but He positively now is influencing the lives of others.
Changing families for generations.
Yeah, that's amazing. Alan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is just powerful. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will have all the information in the comment section how you can connect up with Alan Hunt and Life Network and all the different variations that they have, including volunteer or participating in one of these programs. This is just powerful ministry. And it's, to me, I hear the heart of Jesus in it. It's all about, the heart helping people. So share this with others. You may need to listen to this one again. Well, we look forward to seeing you next time. And in the meantime, have an epic conversation with Jesus.
This episode has been brought to you by the partners of Diane Grubus Ministries. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with others so more people can see it and be blessed. And if you'd like to become a partner with us and impact the lives of more people through videos like these, go to our website, dianegrubus.com, and sign up today.